Zip2 was then sold for $307 million to Compaq, who later shut it down without ever earning a profit. Elon made $22 million, bought a $1 million McLaren F1 supercar, which made mainstream news, before he totaled the uninsured vehicle. Musk then went on to create an online bank, X.com. He partnered with banking expert Harris Fricker, Edward Ho, and Christopher Payne. All three ended up leaving the company after accusing Elon of lying to the media about the quality of their product. Elon claims he founded PayPal. Before the company was named PayPal, it was known as Confinity. It was founded in 1998 by Peter Thiel and Max Levchin. After losing millions of dollars, Elon's X.com was bought by Confinity in a merger in 2000. All Musk contributed at Confinity was his own power struggle. He made himself CEO and pushed to change the name to X.com. The executive team successfully petitioned to fire Musk while he was away on vacation. Part of Musk's resignation agreement stipulated that all references to founders of the company will be removed from their website, allowing Elon to claim credit, which so far is all he has ever achieved. Peter Thiel then rebranded the company as PayPal, went public, and sold to eBay for $1.5 billion. Elon made $180 million from the deal, which he then invested into Tesla, SpaceX, and failed company SolarCity. Elon falsely claims to be the founder of Tesla. Tesla was founded in 2003 by Mark Tarpenning and Martin Eberhard, who developed the Tesla Roadster. When Tesla Motors began looking for venture capital, they approached Elon Musk, who had the fake credibility as PayPal's co-founder. Musk joined with the condition that he be named chairman of the board. In emails, Musk was upset that the media was not giving him credit for Tesla Motors and went after Martin Eberhard, replacing him as CEO. He then forced Eberhard out of the company and rewrote the company's history to have himself listed as an original co-founder. Martin Eberhard, the man behind the Tesla Roadster, was promised the first Roadster off the assembly line. But Musk screwed him over on that as well and sent that car into space.
That was just a little dive into the history of who Elon Musk is, what he's been doing, and how he became to be such a global magnet in the world of consumer capitalism and control of all these companies. And his name is now known worldwide for all of the great things and successes he's been a part of. But as you can see in this video here, that was made by the Reese Report, and I will post that in the Telegram channel in Break the Chains Media. You can see how he's kind of had a questionable past, to say the least. And does that past shadow over his decisions on what he's doing now in the future, and specifically with his actions regarding Twitter and what we're seeing now in the world today? So in this video, we will do a breakdown of who Elon Musk is, what his intentions are, and what's going on with this whole Twitter purchasing power and all of these things going on today. So we're going to get into all that in this video today. What is going on, freedom fighters? Welcome back to another broadcast of Break the Chains Media. Today is Friday, April 15th, 2022, and I am your host, Corey. And we're going to break down, like I said, who Elon Musk is, his past, and just, to me, I'm still very much on the fence about this guy. And even before this video that I started out with in my initial video here, I will post that whole thing in Telegram. It's super interesting. Just a breakdown of all of the things he's been a part of and who he was and where he started and where he's going, right? And that was an excellent video by Greg Reese. But, you know, even before I watched this whole video, Elon Musk was always a questionable character to me. Yes, there was a lot of things that I agree with on how he values free speech, on how he views government, how he views politics, without getting too. He doesn't really himself say how he lies in his political stance, but just with his actions and how he speaks about freedom of speech and the power of money and the power of government control and interference and all of these things. he acts one way, but his money speaks another. So with that being said, we are going to jump into it. We are going to talk about the new news today regarding the Twitter board adopting the poison bill to stop Elon Musk's hostile takeover. We're going to talk about how the Saudi Arabian prince rejects the Twitter offer by Elon Musk, and going to look at some tweets by Elon and just kind of going into that whole realm. But like I said, it's just very interesting. This guy is obviously very good with his money and his finances, but it seems like he's not quite honest on how he received them, how he got them, how he got his rise to power, so to speak. So if this is the first time checking out Break the Chains Media, hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button. Find me on Rumble, BitChute, Minds, Gab, Telegram, t.me/Break the Chains Media. Let's get some rumbles up on these videos because I love Rumble, and let's get that platform the support it needs. Let's jump into it, folks. So first things first, we're jumping into it. Twitter board adopts the poison bill to stop Elon Musk's hostile takeover today, written today. Twitter has responded to Elon Musk's offer to buy Twitter for 38% more than it's currently worth, rejecting a windfall profit for its shareholders and violating its fiduciary duty. According to CNBC, the social media giant board has adopted a poison bill that will dilute any shares that Musk tries to acquire by allowing current shareholders to increase their shares at a discounted price. The provision kicks in when Musk acquires more than 15% of the company. To me, that sounds like a pretty shady business practice, saying we can't have this person, if this person buys more than X amount of percent in our stocks, other people can buy it at a cheaper rate so they can have more profit. They can have more value in the company. I think that's extremely shady. Under the new structure, any person or group acquires a beneficial ownership of at least 15% of Twitter's outstanding common stock without the board's approval. Other shareholders will be allowed to purchase additional shares at a discount rate. The plan is set to expire on April 14, 2023. Such a move is a common way to fend off potential hostile takeovers by diluting the stake of the entity eyeing the takeover. Quote, the rights plan will reduce the likelihood that any entity, person, or group gaining control of Twitter through open market accumulation without paying all shareholders an appropriate control premium or without providing the board sufficient time to make informed judgments and take actions that are in the best interest of shareholders, the company said in a press release. This is an incredibly bad move on the company itself. While a poison plan might fend off a hostile takeover, for a while at least, it also lowers the value of each share of the company. That means a lot of people who have invested their money into Twitter stock are about to get screwed if Musk goes ahead and triggers the provision, which I'm sure he will. You can bet Musk was planning for this, and he already indicated that he has a plan B. What that is isn't known, but the billionaire didn't go into where he is making a dumb decision. He's pretty clear that he's got something else up his sleeve. For example, this entire fiasco could start a shareholder revolt that results in the board of directors of Twitter being removed. How likely that is, I don't know, but I can't imagine investors are going to be happy with how this is going down. There's also could be lawsuits here, given that the leftists on board are putting their political wants, in this case continued partisan censorship, on the internet above the financial interest of the company that they had. Musk himself would be able to sue. If he gets others to join them, he could be formidable. There are also regulations against decision makers violating the fiduciary duty to shareholders through the SEC. You wouldn't think any of this is going to work out too well for Twitter. For now, the fight will continue. All right. So that's super interesting. The poison bill, as the Twitter board is claiming. And I think this is kind of showing how they're frantically trying to ensure that Elon doesn't gain the power that he's attempting to achieve with Twitter, and going into his whole mindset of free speech and the internet and how people should be talking about internet and being involved on the internet. Yes, free speech is vital. Free speech is paramount, super important. And I do think that Elon has a long-term plan for this agenda, because as we've seen in the initial video, he's been kind of I would say a shady business dealing person in his history. So I couldn't see him making I couldn't see him changing his business approaches when it comes to this Twitter fiasco itself. So with that being said, I think he's very aware on their stance and what they're trying to achieve with him, with trying to hold him out against owning more than 15%. Another article here from the New York Post discussing the Saudi Arabian prince rejecting the Twitter bid. Saudi Arabian Prince Awid bin Talal Al Saud, I butchered that, I'm sorry, a billionaire who also owns Twitter's largest shareholder, tweeted that he will vote to reject Elon Musk's 41 billion, actually I think it's 43 billion, all-cash bid for the company, leading Musk to question Saudi Arabia's commitment to free speech. It all boils down to free speech, and like I said, I'm very much on the fence with Elon, but I do think he has a good stance on free speech. I do not like his stance when it comes to the Neuralink and transhumanism in its entirety, because I think that is a path down a very dangerous hole in humanity if that is a thing that becomes very prominent in our world, right? But I think he has a good stance on free speech and how discourse and discussion should be on the internet. Quote, I don't believe that the proposed offer by Elon Musk, $54.20 per share, comes close to the intrinsic value of Twitter given its growth prospects, the prince tweeted on Thursday. Being one of the largest and long-term shareholders of Twitter, Kingdom KHC and I reject this offer. Hours later, Musk responded with what seemed to be a jab at Saudi Arabia's free speech and human rights record. Quote, interesting. Just two questions. This is Musk. How much of Twitter does the kingdom own, directly and indirectly? And what are the kingdom's views on journalistic freedom of speech? Saudi Arabia frequently surveils the arrest of journalists, according to Reporters Without Borders, which ranks the country as one of the worst in world free press for press freedom. And the brutal murder of Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi was personally approved by the Saudi Arabian Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, according to U.S. Intel. Prince Al-Wahid bin Talal Al Saud, that one I spoke much better, chairs the Kingdom Holding Company, the Riyadh-based conglomerate that first purchased Twitter shares in 2011 before the company's 2013 initial public offering. KHC also holds large stakes in a wide range of businesses, including the Four Seasons Hotel, Uber, Lyft, and Citigroup. Okay? Big globalist money involved in this, okay? Twitter shares were trading upwards at the start of the day. Wall Street have since shed initial gains. Shares closed down 1.7% at $45 a share. Members of Twitter board convened in a meeting Thursday morning to discuss Musk's offer. In August 2018, just months before Khashoggi's murder, Musk infamously claimed to have funding secured to take Tesla private from Saudi sovereign wealth fund at $420 per share in a deal that did not come to fruition. The tweet resulted in a lengthy legal battle with Securities and Exchange Commission. Musk's Thursday Twitter offer, price of $54.20 per share, which comes just days after he rejected a seat on the social media company's board, represents a 38% premium to Twitter's April 1st closed, last trading day before Tesla's CEO more than 9% stake in the company was made public. This is a quote from Elon Musk. I invested in Twitter as I believe its potential to be a platform for free speech around the globe, and I believe in free speech as a societal imperative for functioning democracy, Musk wrote in a letter to Twitter chairman Brett Taylor. Since making my investment, I now realize the company will neither thrive nor serve its societal imperative in its current form. Twitter needs to be transformed as a private company. My offer is best and financial offer, if it's not accepted, would need to be reconsider my position as a shareholder. Okay, so this is very interesting. The Saudi prince, rejects Musk's offer, and here's the thing. Okay, I believe that Musk is playing this this big money game to try to shed light on what is actually going on and who's actually controlling a lot of these businesses and social media. It's just social media companies and world companies around the world, right? We all know about Vanguard and BlackRock and how they're just consuming all sorts of, whether it's real estate or businesses or banking information or anything, right? There's so many people up at the top controlling the would you say the capitalist businesses of the world with their investing, with their money, with the stock exchange, with all of these things involved. And Musk is taking this on straight away. Now, I always am taking this in, and I'm always explaining this with a grain of salt because, like I exposed in the beginning of my video, the past history of Musk is questionable at least, and it shadows on his intentions currently today. So I don't know 100%ly if this is going to pan out to be a genuine move towards freedom, move towards democracy. And I want to give Elon the benefit of the doubt. I want to believe that Elon is making these decisions to be a champion for free speech, for internet freedoms, for platforms to be balanced and non-biased. And I think that's important. And I think everyone today can see the bias in the media, the bias in social media, the bias in how everything is leaning in a leftist agenda narrative, and how right-wingers and even centrists and libertarians and anti-government stances are being demonized by these social media platforms, by these mainstream media platforms, because we're not touting to the mainstream, the current psyche, the current narrative that is being portrayed and that's being pushed. The Great Reset, Agenda 2030, all of these, eat your bugs and stop driving cars and stop and all of these narratives. I can go on. I can ramble on. I do see that this is coming to a head here, and the battlegrounds are the internet and the stock exchange, and how Elon is swinging his money bag around and trying to shake things up in the terms of capitalist monetary systems. And I'm just going to pull this up right here. I'm going to post this on my Telegram channel, but this is extremely interesting, and hopefully you all can see this. But this here is a list of Twitter shareholders, okay? And we're going to just read off the top 10. Let's read off the top 10 shareholders in Twitter at the moment right now as it stands, okay? So, number one, who do you think number one shareholder is in Twitter? It's Vanguard. The Vanguard Group is the number one shareholder in Twitter, okay? With 10.2%, okay? Second to that is Elon Musk with 9.3 or 9.13%. And then below Elon, we have Morgan Stanley with 8%, BlackRock with 6%, State Street owned with 4%, Aristotle Capital Management with 2.5%, FMR 2.5%, Jack Dorsey, ARK Investment Management, and ClearBridge LLC. Okay, and you can see the whole list here. You also have Geo Capital, Northern Trust, Capital Group, Bank of America, J.P. Morgan Chase, Transamerica, a lot of other people involved with owning of the stocks, okay? So, with that information being explained to us now, we can see that this is a direct direct call out from Elon to these big money people, right? And I'll read this quote here. And this kind of hits home. That kind of encompasses the whole value of what's going on here, right? So let me get this straight. The progressive left is now rooting for Saudi Arabia, Wall Street, Vanguard, BlackRock, and against free speech, liberty, and the dude who makes electric cars and is going to Mars. Okay? And this is obviously a very, very surface level kind of general view of what's happening, but it does speak volumes as to where the world is sitting with Elon, with Twitter, with this whole debacle, with this whole situation. I do believe it's important to have a free speech platform, and obviously there are other platforms like Gab, Minds, Telegram, all these other places, and goes into saying, oh, if you don't like Twitter, you can just, Twitter's a private company, you can do what it wants. And the leftists are reeing and reeling in their seat, and they're crying because private companies doing what it wants with its decisions, right? And we obviously can see that the Twitter has a very small echo chamber. It's very leftist and very small echo chamber, but these voices are they're just very vocalized, and they're very propped up by mainstream media. So it's very interesting to see what's going to happen with this debate on free speech, debate about Twitter, what's going on with Elon Musk. And I do think that we have to take all of this very cautiously because of Elon's past, because of what he's done with his X.com business and his purchasing of PayPal, and how he swindled PayPal, and how he swindled Tesla Motors, and his failed Solar City, and all of these other investments that he's done over the years, to have him get to this point in the world today, to have him be able to swing this money. And maybe long ago that was his plan, to build up and to get all of this wealth and capital, to then have the purchasing power to take on these global powers and the social media structures that he saw coming in the world back then, and now he's using the money that he's gained in the past to now combat these evils in the world today. I don't know. These are just open-ended questions. I don't know how I feel about the whole thing. I do feel that free speech is important, but like I said earlier, his whole Neuralink thing, the whole push towards this transhumanist with electronic interfacing into your brains, and how Tesla Motors is co-opting the name of Nikola Tesla and the real energy of free energy and transmittable energy, and how electric cars aren't even that beneficial to the planet. We could go into that in a whole nother video. But what are your thoughts, folks? Leave me a comment in the post down below. Talk to me about it. Let's get a discussion going. Hit me up on Telegram, t.me/BreakTheChainsMedia. BitChute, Minds, Rumble, Gab. Hey, I'm also on Twitter at BreakTheChainsM. You can find me there. Folks, I appreciate you. Share this with your friends and family. And as always, fight for freedom.